I wanted to let the public know that in April of 2018, the California Supreme Court issued a decision that changed the work life for millions of Californians. And we departed from 30 years of California law and created a new test to determine who is not an independent contractor. This ruling is one of the most restrictive in the entire country. There are millions of Californians who choose to work as independent contractors. We have the moms working on an Uber job while their kids are at school where they can set their own hours to make extra money. The college students who work after class and before they start their studies to afford additional cost of living expenses that they have. Hairdressers or hairstylists who make their own appointments, rent their own booths, and set up their own a time frame so that they can actually get their clients in at convenience times for them. The independent contractors are doctors, insurance agents, engineers, software developers, therapists, and our Little League coaches and our referees on our Saturday morning baseball teams. In fact, nearly half of all millennials, 47% of millennials freelance, and 79% of independent contractors prefer this type of work. This one-size-fits-all employment should not and cannot apply to all Californians who depend on income from independent contract work. And that's why I introduced SB 238. This bill conforms California employment test to the federal standard. The federal standard has adapted with the changing economy and workplace, and we want to make California lead in that direction. And I know there's opposition bills that are coming up from the Assembly side that are similar to what we're doing here, but it's different. And the reason why it's different is because we take care of the individual that's the millennial. We don't want a restrictive workplace environment for someone that's a college student to be able to go out and work after class or before class to generate $25 or $35 an hour and restrict them to a minimum wage of $15 an hour. So I want to tell you that this bill will make it equal across all industries. The bill that's coming over from the other side of the Assembly restricts certain industries. If you have the blessing of the author and you get a carve out and you're not a part of that piece of legislation, then you don't have to abide by that legislation. Talk about confusion in the workplace, right? Some industries are going to have to comply with the law, some industries aren't. This bill makes it equal for all employees across the state of California. There is almost 700 signatures that we gathered online from Facebook when we posted this bill representation today. And I'm proud to be here standing behind a millennial financial planner, a retiree, or an independent contractor. So we just talked about millennials, but let's look at the independent contractor who's a retiree looking to subsidize their retirement or pension budget so that they can have extra money in their household income on a monthly basis. We have two leaders from one of the largest Asian American organizations who are providing a voice for Vietnamese and Chinese entrepreneurs. We will shortly have the Black Chamber of Commerce president from Kern County. We have a representative from Rancho Cordova Chamber of Commerce and the National Federation of Independent Business. We also have members from the State Assembly and Republican Caucus. This is the Republican caucus's response to the Dynamex decision that the court ruled that made it very restrictive for independent contractors to set their own hours and create and generate an income that benefits them. We're all here today fighting to preserve workplace flexibility, and I thank them for courageously standing in this fight. Californians everywhere want an opportunity to set their own work hours and work when it's convenient for them. So I ask all of you to join us in the hearing today so that we can hopefully get this bill out of committee and share the stories of the single mom who wants, like I said, to work during school hours to make additional money, maybe for a soccer uniform or a baseball glove, maybe extra money 2 weeks before vacation to be able to have additional dollars to take her family on vacation. Please forgive me because I did not address one thing that the Dynamex decision did address. It failed to address a retroactivity in the decision. So now there are judges that are making it retroactive. So when you think about this, employers that had been obeying and complying with the law over the last 4 years, as the law was written and in place, now with this decision also throws another kink in the armor, I guess you'd say, as the employer, because now it's retroactive. So there's retroactivity, meaning that the employer will be punished for complying with the law as it was written within the last 4 years. So that's another decision that this Dynamex application has caused. Not only the freedom and freedom to not only restricting the freedom of workers and making sure that there's restrictions there, but also the retroactivity.